Well, g'day everyone! So in today's video I'm going to show you the steps that I took to introducing the roller among other things to Kahu.
G'day everyone, I'm Zoe and this is Kahu. This is just a little reminder that I'm not a professional horse trainer, so anything you do see in my videos is only intended to be a guide. So with that said, let's get on with the video.
Now Kahu has already had a weight tape around his middle, so I knew what I'm doing in this video wasn't going to be too much of an issue for him. And the reason that I did this particular setup, and I did it very loose as you can see, was just to give Kahu a feel for having the girth without having something all the way around him, and also just make him a little bit more aware of his body simultaneously. Had this been a very sensitive or reactive horse like what Jewel could be in the early stages, I wouldn't have attempted doing anything like this with her quite in the same fashion, just because of her tendency to spook at things that she was uncertain of, whereas Kahu tends to have a minor little, oh, I'm not sure, and then he processes the information and he looks to me for that guidance. So doing the setup that I have here, I just simply clipped a very long lead on him onto his halter as normal, threaded it between his front legs, up and over his back, and then back through his front legs again, while simultaneously making sure that the length of the lead was more than long enough that Kahu could have his head up high, as you can see how he has it early in this video.
Good boy.
Now I have every intention of training Kahu how to hold the long and low position without using physical training aids as I'm doing here. However, I felt this was a bit of an activity to give Kahu's mind something to think about and sort of encourage him to use his body and engage his body in the correct ways, to lift up his belly and engage his back and naturally drop his head simultaneously. So moving on to more of a girth type concept to Kahu. Now he's already had the roller on, which was miles too big. If you haven't already seen that video, I'll put a link in the top corner there for you. And so what I'm doing here is I've just got a long rope with a loop on the end, and you can see here I've got it threaded through that loop, and I'm just applying the pressure until there's a little bit of tension there and immediately releasing the pressure. I actually did this same training session with Jewel a couple of years back. So here's Jewel back in 2022. This was actually only her second session, feeling the feel of a girth around her middle, with the same thing that I'm doing with Kahu here. And just because she was prone to pulling back and reacting badly, I had her on a homemade block and tackle tie ring, just so that if she was to pull back, she can't run off and hurt herself. So once again here, I'm just doing a little bit more of a tension idea on him to see how he responds to pressure. And then here in this clip you can see that I'm just about fastened it on there, although I've just tucked the clip in behind that loop there, just so that if he was to panic, the pressure alone would cause my makeshift girth just to undo and release that tension and pressure for him. Now, unlike Jewel, who I actually had tied up during that process, even though it was a long lead, she was still tied up for her safety and my own because I knew how she could respond. I knew Kahu would have a reasonably positive reaction to this, just with how he'd responded to the pressure with his middle. So here I wanted to give him that freedom to express himself if he felt he needed to. Okay, so you can see that Kahu didn't really have any fireworks at all, in fact the reverse. He just wanted to be around me, which Kahu does like to do that all on his own anyway. He does love human contact. But you can see here he did trot out really nicely and hold his posture as he should, and just really wasn't fazed by the feel of the roller, well, rather a makeshift one. Whereas Jewel was very much the opposite. As soon as she felt that tension and she moved, she would arch her back and she just took off around the round yard, and I had to wait until she settled before I could take it off again. So later on during this same session, I did end up putting the clip partially on the rope just so it held a little bit more snug. And then you can see in this clip, it did actually slide around under his belly, and I was able to quietly just walk up to him and slide it back up, and Kahu was just like, ah, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, so that just about sums up this short video of how I introduced the girth concept to Kahu. If you have any questions, do drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, guys, Kahu and I will see you next time.
Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with what's going on in our world.